My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Northeast Miskatonic as we continue our Call of Cthulu themed playthrough on Rimworld. Now, as we left off last time, we were preparing some prosthetic legs. We've installed one of those on Svetlana successfully. She is still recovering from the side effects of the anesthesia that obviously we had to apply during the operation. So in a few days' time, maybe even less, she should be back up on her feet. We're having a bit of a food crisis at the moment. We have no meals left and we only have 3 units of corn available to turn into some sort of meal. So what I'm doing is I'm asking all of our farmed areas to be modified so that they now have tilled soil, which increases the growth rate of the plants in that area. What I'm also planning to do is once this strip of farmland is taken care of, we're going to stop growing psychoid plants and we're going to switch over to rice. Now, rice is a fast growing plant and that should keep us very well stocked indeed. So there we go, look, the tilled soil has been completed in growing zone number 4. So now let's switch over to rice. So that will waste the current crop because it's not ready to harvest, but I think it's more important that we get some food sources set up rather than worrying about harvesting some psychoid plants. We're going to do the same over here as well, and in fact I think it's probably not a bad idea if we go ahead and harvest as many of these plants as we possibly can that are in this little field here. They won't be fully matured, of course, so we won't get the maximum yield from the potatoes, but a little bit of something is a lot better than a whole lot of nothing, of course. We do have wild animals on the map that we could hunt, however they are perilously close to the mechanoids down here, and I'd want to avoid any unnecessary risk where possible, especially after what happened the last time when quite a few of our colonists were severely injured and we even had to fight off a bout of sepsis. So as we can see here, Svetlana is now back up on her feet following her operation. The second prosthetic leg has not yet been produced. We do have Svetlana's old peg leg here. However, there's no point installing the peg leg to then have to remove it in a day or two time when the prosthetic leg is completed. So for the time being, Beerhoff is going to have to manage with just the one leg and reduced movement speed. You will also see here I have requested a large mining excavation order in our room here and in our stockpile room. Obviously for the stockpile room, that's very straightforward and self-explanatory. This is to enable us to increase our stockpile area. This one, I think we discussed it previously. We're going to look to convert this into a research centre, at least partly into a research centre, and we will reconstruct our high-tech research bench in here with all its ancillary pieces of furniture such as the filing cabinet and the research counter, and we shall also look to build a multi-analyzer as soon as we're able to, but we need some gold and plasteel for that. And we'll also build the EINAC, which will also boost our research speeds. Okay, so Q has completed the second simple prosthetic leg, so in the coming days we can have that fitted to Beerhoff, hopefully with a good degree of success so we don't botch the whole procedure, because that would be rather unfortunate, of course. As you can also see, we've almost finished carving out this rather cavernous room here, and we've also finished squaring off our stockpile room, and I've expanded the stockpile now so we have a lot more space available in there for our colonists. Now, one thing I have noticed, and this is something I forgot to do in the outcome of the battle, is we have quite a lot of ranged weapons in our stockpile room, which says to me several of our colonists are unarmed. So what we need to do is we need to get everybody armed once again. We can't arm Born because he's still in the coma, unfortunately. However, Amy can pick up a weapon, so Amy can arm herself with the old-fashioned rifle that we took from the little visitor in the previous episode. Quinn is armed. Cody requires a weapon, so Cody can take the pistol. Svetlana has a weapon. Haruka has a weapon. Beerhoff has a weapon, and Slick has a weapon. So we have one spare rifle, and that will be taken up by Bourne as and when he is able to rejoin us full time. What do we have here? A new quest has become available, the Scourge Cluster, or the Scourge Cluster. If you don't accept within 8 days, it will expire. Righty-ho. That is... what do we have? So 2 centipedes, 3 lancers, 8 pikemen, 3 ciphers, a psychic suppressor, mech nodes, drop beacon, capsules, assemblers, slug turrets, auto-charge turrets, and inferno turrets. For the rewards on offer, I don't think that's worthwhile, especially considering the struggle we're having just clearing these guys away. Of course, the struggle wouldn't be as real if we were able to get our hands on a reinforced barrel, or ideally better, a advanced component so we can construct a lathe and make our own reinforced barrels. And at the lathe we could also produce our own components as well, which would be very, very nice and a big step forward. And there we go, that is the research room almost, well, pretty much finished. We'll call it finished. The next thing you want to do is run some power conduits through these smoothed out walls. Like that, and we'll finish this side off as well. Now that we've finished this room here, I think it's time that Beerhoff had his leg installed. So we'll set up an operation to do just that, and it's the left leg we are looking for. However, it should have that little symbol there. No, we don't have to practice surgery on his torso. Here we go, this is the one. Install a simple prosthetic leg on his left leg. Requires 2 medicine and obviously a simple prosthetic leg, which we have. So we'll queue that up, and then we'll immediately send Beerhoff to rest. This will allow Amy to come in straight away and start the operation. Hopefully it will be a success, but time will tell, of course. So here comes Beerhoff now. And there we go, he's ready for his operation. And Amy, yes, there you are, prioritize operating on Beerhoff. So we have another trade ship passing by, but again they are a robot trader, so they may not have what we are looking for, but we shall certainly initiate a trade deal with them just to make sure. Here we go. So we can stock up on components. We'll sell them the peg leg because we have no need for that anymore. We could buy a tech print for 2,000, which is quite a lot, about, it's over half what we have available. We could improve our plasti reserves by a further 8. And I think we'll take the 21 components as well. And we'll also take the chem fuel, because we'll need the chem fuel to create the mortar shells, as and when we're in a position to create the mortar, of course. So we'll accept that. It's not a bad little trade. And while it's not what we were really wanting, it's better than nothing, of course. And it's stuff we're likely to need in the near future. A group of travellers from the agency have arrived, and very fortunately they have spawned in right next to the mechanoid cluster. So we'll keep an eye on this fight here and see how they manage. If they can just take down 1 or 2 of them, well, just 1 would be really, really nice. Now it looks like they are focusing on one of the ones with the Inferno cannon, which is really good. Okay, sadly they were not able to take anybody down. And the surgery has also failed on Beerhoff. What did you manage to do? Okay, you attached it to his torso. Well, that's not what we wanted. So if you could patch him up for me, please, Amy. Now I'm going to go ahead and assume that has wasted the prosthetic leg, so we need to create another one. Let's just have a look here. Yes, it doesn't seem to be there anymore, and obviously we've just sold the peg leg. Okay then, so it's back to the machining table, and we need another prosthetic leg. Okay, I've noticed that our rice plants are ready for their first harvest. While it's not going to solve the problems for more than a few days, it's certainly a lot better than it could be. So in the next day or two that should be harvested up. We do have the elk nearby as well, which we have asked to be hunted, and indeed Haruka and Quinn are making their way out to take care of that now, as we can see. Okay, Svetlana can be in a little bit of trouble here. She's become the target of this wolf, and it did come after her when it was in very short range. Now she has hit it a few times now, which has really slowed it down, but initially it was right on top of her and she couldn't outpace it. So we'll finish off the timber wolf, at least that's something we can eat, and we'll haul that back. She has 2 conditions that need tending, just 2 minor scratches to the right arm and shoulder, so nothing too severe, hopefully. Okay, so that's the second prosthetic leg, or the third I suppose, now ready to be installed. So again, let's select BF, go to the health tab, operations. We want to add a bill to, in fact we'll do it off here because then we can see the little icon which designates or indicates it would improve a condition. There it is. Install that, and then we'll send him back to bed rest, and we'll have Amy come and have another go at this. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more successful than last time around, and rather than sticking it through his chest, she shall actually attach it to what is left of his leg. In the meantime, we have researched bionics. And what do we want to go for next? I'll just take a few minutes, have a steady scroll through and decide. Although I think I might go for basic electronics, because that allows us to increase the mood of our colonists quite nicely. Slick, what are you doing? Your medical skill is not nearly good enough for that. Amy, I want you to do the operation, please. Quinn, come back with the leg. Amy, oh, there you go. You've got the leg, you've got the medicine. No, you haven't. Come. Operate on him, please. Here we go. Let's keep an eye on this and see what happens at this time. And it was a success. So again, BF might be out of action for a day or two while the anesthesia wears off, but once he's back up on his feet, he will literally be back on his feet. I think what we're also going to do is a leader's speech. With an expected quality of 90%, it's highly likely that we'll have an encouraging or inspirational outcome, both of which will provide us with at least 1 development point. So let's see how we go here. Being able to reform the religion once again would be rather nice. There we go, it was encouraging, so not only does everybody get a mood boost, but we also increase our development points from 4 to 5. So, making progress. Obviously we need 12 for the second batch of reforms, so we're not even halfway there yet, but slow and steady wins the race. Ah, we have a raid. They are attacking immediately. Let's see here. Now they're coming from several directions. We have a group down here. We have a group down here, which might draw the attention of the mechanoids. And we have a group up here, which again, depending on how they path through, could draw the mechanoids' attention. So let's see what happens here. Let's create a sentinel, because that will help to distract the would-be invaders. Down here, well, we can't really focus on those. We need to worry about our own defences. Up here, of course. That's 1 down, that's 2 down. That's 3 down. 4. So that's 4 in the attacking party up by us. It looks like we've lost a couple, or they've lost a couple down here. And obviously all those numbers will add towards their retreatment threshold. That's 5. That's 6. 7. And here we go. There we go, they're already fleeing. I don't mind if they destroy the door to break themselves loose. Although some more are still attacking, as we can see. Only a few of them are retreating. Down here, it looks like the mechanoids handled them. And did they suffer any casualties? Where is the... Oh, it's over. Ah, yes, they did. One centipede is down, so that's really, really good. And the others have sustained quite a bit of damage. So that's fantastic. So all we have to do now is see off the... what's this, about half a dozen or so raiders who are still coming through. Which we should be able to do quite comfortably. There we go, they are now all in retreat. We shall allow them to retreat unmolested. And we shall undraft all of our colonists now. Allow them to return to work. So the steel spike traps need replacing, of course. We need to... No, that's not quite right, is it? Don't do that. Cancel that. We'll build another section of wall there. Two of these raiders are still alive. Bleeding out in 5 hours, bleeding out in 2 hours. Let's have a look at their biography. Nope, no interest in you whatsoever. What about you? No. But I might stabilize and arrest them, because then we can sacrifice them, which is always nice. So yes, good news about the mechanoids. There's now just 4 remaining, and one of them, one of the ones that did have the Inferno Cannon has gone. Frog has gotten sick from an infection. I'm not too bothered, if I'm perfectly honest, but we'll treat her anyway. Yes, tend to Frog. Oh, you're going to use medicine. No, you're really not. Doctor care, but no medicine. So let's just reset your priority and go again. Prioritize tending to Frog. Amy, I'd like you to start the operations, please. Slick was about to do... In fact, we should probably take some people off of medical work. Svetlana, you can maybe go to level 4, but Haruka and Slick need removing entirely. So Amy just decided to stop mid-operation to go for a sermon. So I don't think that's a problem, but it's still rather amusing to consider. Yes, I know I'm halfway through removing your kidney, but, you know, I've got to go worship. Okay, so Gabe is coming to attempt the operation, which is fine. Surgery failed. Okay, so Gabe, I want you now to stabilize Tiger, just so he doesn't bleed out. Right, there we go. And now I want you to... You need material. Is that because maybe Amy has come through? No. Who's our other medic? No, okay. Did we run out of medicine? Ah, we only have 1 unit of Glitterworld medicine available, and we don't want to use that on a prisoner. Frog has gotten sick from an infection again. Again, not particularly bothered. Okay then, so we can't do those because we don't have the medicines available. We could... All of this requires a unit of medicine. We could just hack his limbs off. That's always an option. Bash his spine, break his jaw. Brand him as a slave. I think we'll just go full Temple of Doom and rip his heart out. Gabe, knock yourself out, my friend. He's going full Molar Ram. Kalimar. There we go. Oh no. Jesus. An infection of the heart. So she got an infection in the heart, in the lung, in the torso. I don't think she's going to make it. Let's just... Oh, you got an infection in your heart? We could rip it out for you. Yeah, it's a waste. We're not going to be able to harvest any organs from them, but that's fine. Oh, you're treating the infection. No, operate. There you go, infection cured. What's your problem? Okay, now we can medically extract organs. Right, again, that takes one corpse, obviously, and one unit of medicine. We do have glitter wool. How close is this to being grown? It's pretty close. I think we'll do it. We'll just take the chance that none of our colonists are going to need medication in the next few days. Medically extract organs. And we'll have Amy do this, of course. Amy. Oh, you need a skill of 8. Okay, none of our colonists have that skill. So we can remove that bill and we'll just butcher them for the meat. Exotic goods trader from the agency. Don't go near that. I don't want you to attack those. At least not until I've spoken to you, because you might have the stuff we have been looking for the longest time. So we'll let them come a little bit closer. Then we'll send Q down to conduct some business. See what they have available. Okay, yes, brilliant. Advanced component. That's what we've been waiting for. We'll take all your components as well. And we may as well take the plasteel. You can have the magicite just to offset some of the damage, although it's still quite a chunk we're paying out here. Sadly, we didn't get any of the organs because I think they may have purchased them from us if we'd managed to extract them, but such is life. So that's what we'll go for. It's going to cost us just under 2,000, but stocking up on components, getting the advanced component we need for the lathe, and stocking up on plasteel is never a bad thing to do. So there we go, trade completed. So now we want Q to prioritise hauling all of this back, please, before you wander off. There we go. Where are you going now? Are you going to get something else to haul back, are you? Whatever you do, don't trigger those traps for God's sake. Oh, you're collecting all the weapons. Well, we might be able to trade with them again, although they weren't interested in buying the other weapons and they're leaving now anyway, so never mind. So once this wall has been smoothed out and the conduits have been relayed through the walls and the lights have been put in, we can move all these equipment benches and we can finally build ourselves a lathe. So let's queue up a production, or the production of a lathe right now before we forget, because we certainly don't want the advanced component to be used for anything else. Not after the amount of time it took us to acquire one. And in fact, Q, if you take the component there now, then it cannot be used. There we go. So the lathe is now being constructed, which means we can start producing not only our own components, but we can also produce a reinforced barrel. Finally. How are we doing on power now, actually? No, we've still got a good excess, so that's fine. Okay, so as we can see now, we no longer have an excess. That could just be because the wind has died down, but we are going to have to think of some alternatives. And I think what we're going to need to do is get ourselves a few solar generators. Obviously, they don't work during the night, but they will work during the day, of course. And I think having 4 of them should be enough to keep our batteries topped up overnight. Because pending or barring an eclipse, these will just steadily trickle out some power during the day and keep our batteries topped up. But we'll see what happens once they're finished and installed. Okay, we've actually run out of steel, which is no great surprise considering we just used 800 units on the ENIAC. We've had to repair all of our deadfall traps and other things, so we are going to need some more steel. I'm not sure if there's any steel veins left in it. Oh, we have this one here. Let's mine that. Not the biggest, but it should be enough to keep us stocked up for the time being. Enough at least to get the power conduits and the lights installed and to finish off these 3 remaining solar generators. As we can see, our batteries are draining quite quickly now. I think what we are going to do is deconstruct these. That can be reinstalled at the lathe. Everything else can be deconstructed. That'll at least give us some units of steel back. And it should also stop the power draw from being quite so high. But I imagine the biggest draw, yes, look at this, 5,000 watts just for the ENIAC. Hello? Can I help you? We have a visitor. Well, we may as well hunt you since you're coming to us. We may as well take care of that and hunt you down. Muffalo Revenge, colonists needs treatment. Oh, well, that's... Well, they are in close quarters, so what do they expect? There we go. How damaged or how injured are you, Amy? One condition. Oh, it's only a bruised head. You're fine. Nothing to be concerned about. Okay, Slick's going to gain skills twice as fast for the next few days due to a high mood, so that's really, really good. And I think on that somewhat positive note, we'll probably end it here for today. As you can see, I've made a start rearranging everything in our little workshop, and we're going to have basically our workbenches in this area here, and this will all be for storage down here. We have a tool cabinet. We are laying down some marble tiles because we have plenty of marble available. So the floors are being improved. The steel is being mined out. The barrel, no, that's the marble tile. The reinforced barrel is 676 units of work left to do. So that should be ready for or during the next episode, at which point, of course, we can then construct a mortar. And at that point, we should finally be able to say goodbye to our little visitors down here. A quest has come through about a collection of items not too far from Innsmouth. It contains a skill trainer for the social skill, which can be very, very useful for likes of Q or Amy. So we might want to consider that, but we'll have a look at it properly in the next episode before, and then we'll make a decision there and then. So all that remains for me to say is I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and if you have, please consider leaving a thumbs up down below, and if you'd like to offer even further support, you can subscribe to the channel as well. But for now, take very good care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. It's ta-ta for now.